Okay, we will go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone again for being here. This is the What to Expect webinar for the Substance Abuse Prevention Day, and that is next Thursday, February the 23rd, and we are looking forward to having everyone there. Give me just a moment and we can go ahead and play that slide, Esther. All right, so you have either registered already for Substance Abuse Prevention Day, or you're looking for forward to doing that. So we have all the information you need on this webinar about Substance Abuse Prevention Day, what it is, how to have a successful event, all the logistics, and we will even have time at the end for some questions and answers. Right. Substance Abuse Prevention Day is a long-running event that Voices for Prevention has done, and we are very excited to bring this to you again this year, and this year is going to be in person. It is going to be February the 23rd at the Georgia State Capitol from 9:30 to 12.
Okay. I wanted to share a little bit about what this year, the theme is for this year. As Nicole mentioned, the event next Thursday, I want to clarify something between 9 and 9:30. And actually, we're going to go over that. That's going to be more the registration part, and the event itself will begin at 9:30. So I wanted to clarify that. But the theme this year is Advocacy is My Superpower. This was a theme that was chosen by the committee, and we wanted to find a theme that would be appealing to everyone, youth and adults. And obviously, superheroes is definitely something that is very popular. And knowing that we as advocates have that power is what we wanted to really talk about this year. So I wanted to mention that this event is a big opportunity for all of us to get together at the Capitol and really kind of raise awareness of what we're doing, but also get an opportunity to speak with our elected officials. Our event will take place in the South Wing. And as you see here, this is kind of a picture of it. And we will be in this area on the bottom of the stairs there. And that is where we will be, the podium will be. So when you come in, this is where you will be headed. All right, as I mentioned, between 9 and 9:30, we have folders and handouts to give everyone. Most of you know that in the past, we have provided fact sheets for the different topics, whether it was marijuana or alcohol, whatever the issue is that you're addressing. We are doing the same thing this year, but because we're not going to have the group discussions, it's going to be all at the Capitol. We're going to provide you with all 4 of the topics. So you will receive a folder that has all of the infographics, plus the agenda and other things that we are going to give out. So that is going to happen between 9 and 9:30. Then we'll have between 9:30 and 10, we'll have some some announcements. We are going to provide an advocacy update. So it'll be about 5 minutes of just making everyone aware of what's going on right now. And then between 10 and 11, we really want to focus on the visits. Hopefully these will be scheduled ahead of time, but if not, then we also have instructions on what it means to go to the ropes. And then between 11 and 12 is we have our guest speakers. And that again will be at the South Wing. Here are some of the speakers that we'll have. And some of you may have already heard the Madam Chair, Sharon Cooper. She is the chair of the Health and Human Services Committee. She has supported us for many years and will be there again this year. We have a new DBHCD commissioner, and he has agreed to speak as well. So he will be there. And we're very fortunate we have 2 youth speaking this year, also that have experience in advocacy and want to share their knowledge and what they've done in the past. All right, who should attend? This is always a question that I get. Actually was asked this year, can elementary school students go? I would say absolutely, especially if they're older elementary. It is a wonderful opportunity for youth to go and see the Capitol and be involved in an event like this. But youth and parents, school people, law enforcement, civic groups, all of these different community sectors are part of our efforts. And so we want to make sure that this event isn't just for us who are working in the field, but for everyone in our communities, in our CPAWs, our coalitions. It is not only for those of us that work in the field. So I wanted to emphasize that. I know there are a lot of people that are bringing youth, which is wonderful. You're also welcome to bring your civic groups or your church groups. That is also another group of people that would be interested in supporting these efforts. Okay, logistics.
Right, we are going to talk about some of the logistics, and Esther, you can go ahead and hit all of those if you want to. Yep. So we're going through the next few slides. We're going to talk specifically about parking, hotels, food, security going into the Capitol, the entrance and the location, which Esther has already touched on, and youth groups, if you have any questions on that. So there are several parking lots around the Capitol area that you can park at. I found most of these parking lots at the link below. And I do want to say that this webinar is going to be recorded, and we are going to send out an email recap with the links in them. So don't worry about having the links, but we will send them. These are the Capitol lot and the Memorial lot. And then the next two are the Pete Hackney and the Steve Polk parking lot. And with these parking lots, it is very important to note to put the address of the parking lot into your GPS. That should take you directly to that specific parking lot. Most of these parking lots are paid parking lots, and they do accept credit cards. Some of them, the Pete Hackney one only accepts credit cards, so no cash. So just be aware of that. If you are bringing a group, church group, youth group, group from work, what have you, when you're on a bus or a larger van, there is specific parking for you at the Capitol. It is the west side of Washington Street. And if there is an event going on, a larger scale event, there will be security out there directing you, and they can kind of direct you to where you need to go. But that is on the west side of Washington Street in front of the Capitol, and that information is also on the governor's website as well. All right, the next part is hotels. If you plan to, it's an early morning getting started at 9:30, so we want to let you know there are several hotels in the area that can accommodate you at a pretty, hopefully a pretty decent rate. But we have had success in the past with these 4 hotels, and the information and the links to these hotels are also on our website. So if you don't mind to put in the chat, Brian, our website, that way people can click on that if they need that link. Food, unfortunately, at this particular event, we are not going to offer lunch due to it being at the Capitol. They don't allow inside food to come into the Capitol. However, there are a couple of different options if you, bringing a group and you need lunch before you leave, that kind of thing. There is the Cafe 244, and it is located at 244 Washington Street. The Capitol is at 216 Washington Street, so it's just right around the corner from the Capitol. And the hours of operation are Monday through Friday, and lunch begins at 11 a.m. The second choice is the Capitol Commons, and that is located in the Floyd building that is right across from the state Capitol. If you have ever been to our event before, we have held the rally in the Floyd Room. And so this Capitol Commons is located in that same building, and is on the, is on the floor of the Floyd building. And if you have snacks or packed lunches for your group, you can also reserve the garden room. You have to call a number, and it's listed on the left side of the screen to reserve that garden room, but that is free of charge if you have if you want to bring sacked lunches or packed lunches for your group. All right. So the next big thing that a lot of people are, they don't come prepared for, and we want everyone to be prepared so that way you can enter into the Capitol. Security in the Capitol. So there's 3 specific things that you should remember. Any person aged 18 or older will need to have their state issued ID, and they will check that upon entering. There are metal detectors, and so people will probably have to go through those metal detectors. If you have, metal plates or surgery or anything like that, there will be an X-ray machine for that. For your carried items. And then items to leave at home. It's always important to, check your pockets, check your purses. We all have those little nail clippers or pocket knives in there. Leave those at home. No weapons, no pocket knives, anything that can be considered a weapon is allowed in the Capitol. So the entrance and the location, there are a couple entrances to the Capitol that you can come through, and you will go through security. And then we will be on the 2nd floor. There are 4 floors in the Capitol, and we will be on the 2nd floor in the South Wing. We also want to let all the attendees know that unfortunately there will only be seating to fit 50 people. So we will have several youth groups here that day. It may be necessary for the youth to sit on the floor. They can sit on the stairs. There's usually a red line where they can't kind of cross, and that lets the walking traffic through there. But just kind of be aware of that. There will only be 50 chairs. If possible, leave the chairs open for those who need it the most. And if you can stand, and if you have youth groups, you may need to sit on the floor with the youth groups. All right, I'll turn it back over to Esther.
Thank you, Nicole. I want to talk a little bit about the visits, because this event is primarily about advocacy. And so what can we do in order to get ready for those visits? The first thing, if possible, you may want to make an appointment prior to the event. If you're not sure who to contact, openstates.org is where you would go to find out who your legislator is, but also how to contact them. So you find out who they are, get the information, and either email or call in order to make an appointment prior to the event. Prepare a community one-pager. This is very important because this is something that you can give your elected official about your community and about the issue that you are there to talk about. We have a template for a community one-pager that is on our website, and will also be sent out with the Know Before You Go email. So you can use that as an example, make some changes. It's a Word document, so it'll be easy to enter your information or delete something. But that is always really good to have, that community one-pager to give a snapshot or a picture of what's going on in your community. An elevator speech. This is something most people will know this is. It's about 30 seconds. It's really, in a nutshell, what it is that you want to communicate. When you go, if you already made an appointment, you probably have a little bit more time, but it's always good to have that elevator speech ready in case you're going to meet someone at the ropes, or that your aide or whoever you're going to meet with doesn't have a lot of time, or there's several people that want to talk during the visits, an elevator speech is a good way to be able to present your information in a brief, very thorough way. We also have a handout about elevator speeches, or how to prepare, what are the different aspects of that, and that is also available on our website, and we will also have it available in your folders on the day of the event. Something that is really important is that if you are going to meet in a group, let's say you're bringing a youth group, or you're bringing a group from your community, it's also really good to choose a leader, one person to kind of lead the conversation and allow other people to speak, but that way the aide who is there or the elected official is not hearing from about 10 different people at the same time. So you really want to choose a leader if you're going to meet in a group, in order to make that visit flow more easily. Choose one person to share a personal story. It is not enough to give data. It is not enough to show them that community one-pager. As important as that is this is about people. It's not just about a substance. And so we really want to, if you have that person there, whether it's a youth or someone from your community, have that person share a personal story, an impact of what these substances or what this issue has done. Okay, while you're in the visit, while you're having that meeting, refer to that one pager. Don't just hand it to them, because they can just put that in their folder or something, and then, you know, just put it aside and not even look at it. Refer to your one pager. So when you prepare that, you know that you have 2 or 3 of the data points that you want to point out to whoever you're going to be meeting with. And then, very important, be ready with an ask or a call to action. Whether that is, you know, come to our event on so-and-so day, please make sure to support these efforts that we're doing in our communities. We in the field of prevention need more funding to help us continue this work. Whatever your ask is, or your call to action, make sure you have that. These visits are an opportunity to, again, to advocate for what we are working on. So you want to make sure not to forget the ask. Thank the person you're meeting with. Many of us will probably meet with the aides and not the representative or senator themselves. So make sure to thank that person for their time, and never, ever forget to follow up with a thank you email, an email that you can refer back to the one pager, or maybe even attach it, but always follow up your visit with an email. Okay, what does it mean to go to the ropes? This is something that can be done if you haven't been able to make an appointment. So when you're at the Capitol between 10 and 11, you will have time to go to the 3rd floor of the Capitol. The Senate chamber is on one side and the representative chamber is on the other. So you go to the door, there is a person there at the door, and they will give you a small form, which is usually yellow, and you will fill that in. You will fill that form in. And these, again, are located by the small stands by either of the chambers. You're going to stand in line, give your form to the secretary who is there at the door. That form will have your name and a little bit more information as to who you want to see. A volunteer page, a young person will went back, didn't I? Okay. A volunteer person will get the message to the senator or representative if they are in the area where the seat that they're supposed to be, and ask them to see if they're available to come to the ropes. That young person will then come back and let you know whether or not your representative can come to the ropes. If they can meet you, they're gonna, please make sure to keep a lookout, because your senator and representative most likely doesn't know who you are or doesn't know what you look like. So make sure to know what they look like and be on the lookout for them, especially if they're going to take time to meet you at the ropes. And again, if you don't know what they look like, openstates.org. It has all their contact information. It has a picture of what they look like, and email, phone, all of that. Something else that I would like to recommend, especially if you're bringing youth, in between that time, let's say you have an appointment and it lasts 10 minutes and you have more time, then it's really good to get the youth an opportunity to kind of walk around the Capitol, but there's also availability to go into the House chamber in order to just observe what's going on. And that is, I've been there and it's very interesting to watch. And I know that if you're bringing young people, especially, this is a good opportunity for them to see something like that in action. And Nicole, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right. So at registration, we will have a couple of people checking people in. If possible, we request a list of all of the members in your group along with their email addresses. Specifically youth groups, this helps us keep track of, number one, who's coming into our events and how we can communicate back with them about substance abuse prevention advocacy. And so that helps us very much. Again, seating will be limited. So we ask that the youth be seated on the floor or on the stairs or by the stairs. Just make for sure to leave room for people to walk by, and there's that red line, and that will allow those people to be able to walk through. Also, let your legislator know that you're bringing a group. Most of the time, they may not have a whole lot of time, especially if they're in session. However, if they know that a large group is coming, they may be able to come and be able to do a photo op with your group. And that photo op, you know, can go to your local newspaper. It can be in your organization or agency newsletter. So just kind of look for those opportunities with your legislator. And finally, what questions do you have?
We've gone through a lot of information, so we want to make sure, especially if you've never been there at our events, that we answer any questions that you may have. If you've been there before, you'll notice that this event is a little different this year. And what we are doing is that we've separated the advocacy part, the Capitol part, from the rally part. And we will be having a rally later on this year in September. So if you're wondering, well, why aren't we going to the Floyd room? It's because we really want to focus during this time for the advocacy part, and we will have a rally again later in the year. All right, I'm going to stop sharing and let's check the chat box. Anybody have any questions or anything that, or if you've been there before and want to share something about your experience, some tips or something, please feel free to unmute yourself. Okay. All righty. It seems like everyone is prepared. I love it. Like Nicole said, we will have a know before you go email going out tomorrow and the day before the event. All this information will be in that email. Plus, we'll give you the community one-pager. We could even send the elevator speech guide as well beforehand, Nicole. We hadn't thought about that or talked about that, but those are things that you want to try to look at prior to the event. If you're able to make that appointment, please do. If you need assistance with that, please reach out to us. If you don't know, okay, this is the first time I've gone and I'd like to visit with my legislator or I'd like to do something, please let us know. During the registration, some people requested that they want to meet in groups. And so we have prepared a spreadsheet with everyone who has requested that and the names of the legislators, so that if you're in a community and there's someone else on the list that wants to meet in a group, that morning when we get there between 9 and 9:30, we're going to connect. before that visit to make sure that you guys can then go in a group if you don't feel comfortable going in by yourself. So having said that, Nicole, did I miss anything? I think we're good.
I think we're good. I think we're good. And if you have if a burning question hits you at midnight tonight and you just have to know, feel free to email us. I'm going to drop our emails in the chat box.
Perfect. I am looking forward to seeing everyone there. Oh, something we didn't mention. This is not a hybrid event. Last year we did the rally and it was hybrid, so we were able to stream this. This event, because it's going to focus on advocacy, will only be in person. The event in September, the rally, that will be hybrid. So for those of you, this is going to be an in-person event and only in person. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Look forward to seeing everyone, and we'll see you at Advocacy Day.